The process of milling large logs in a sawmill begins long before the wood ever touches the cutting blade. It starts outside the factory, where oversized logs are stored after arriving from the harvesting site. Here is where the first challenge begins. Without the help of heavy machinery, such as forklifts or cranes, the workers rely on traditional manual techniques that have been used for generations. Using wooden levers, wedges, and strong ropes, they slowly move logs that can weigh hundreds of kilograms. Every movement must be precise, as a single shift in balance can cause the log to roll unexpectedly. Coordination and communication among the workers are crucial to ensure safety and control throughout the process. Once the log is successfully shifted closer to the entrance of the mill, the workers place guiding blocks along its path. These wooden guides help maintain stability as the log is rolled forward. Although the method may look simple, it requires skill and experience. One wrong move can lead to injury or damage to the material. As the log finally enters the factory, the next task is to align it with the feeding track that leads to the main cutting area. Using iron pry bars and turning hooks, the workers adjust the log's angle and grain direction, ensuring that it is positioned correctly for the first cut. When the log is set in place, it is slowly lifted onto the sawmill's cutting table. The bandsaw operator prepares for the operation, performing a final check, confirming that the log is secure, the rails are clear, and the desired cutting thickness has been calibrated. When the bandsaw powers on, a sharp, resonant hum fills the room. The long steel blade begins slicing through the massive log. Steadily, the wood moves forward through the machine, splitting into the first slabs of lumber. Each cut reveals natural grain patterns that were hidden deep inside the log for decades. This moment marks the beginning of the transformation from a raw, heavy log into usable material. From the manual labor performed outside the mill to the precision cutting of the bandsaw, every step reflects the combined strength of traditional skill and modern technology in the world of sawmilling. Before a piece of lumber ever becomes part of a house, a piece of furniture, or a construction project, it goes through a long and carefully controlled journey inside a sawmill. Today, we will follow that journey step by step, beginning from the moment a large log arrives at the mill, all the way to the precision cutting stage with a bandsaw. Our story starts outside the sawmill, in the open yard where freshly delivered logs are stored. These logs can vary in size, but the ones we are focusing on today are unusually large, heavy, dense, and often difficult to move. In many traditional sawmills, workers relied not on heavy machinery, but on manual strength and simple tools. Lever poles, wedges, wooden rollers, and thick ropes become essential instruments in the early stages of handling. Moving a massive log manually requires coordination and experience. Every worker understands the risk. A single miscalculation can cause the log to roll in an unexpected direction. To maintain safety, the movement is done slowly, centimeter by centimeter. Workers place wooden blocks in strategic positions to guide the log and prevent dangerous shifts. Though the method looks simple, it is a technique refined over generations. Once the log is close to the entrance of the mill, the next task begins, preparing it for the journey inside. Workers clean off loose bark, mud, and stones that might damage the blades during cutting. They also inspect the log's surface, looking for cracks, knots, and irregularities that could affect the milling plan. This inspection phase is essential because understanding the log's natural structure helps determine the best way to cut it efficiently while minimizing waste. Inside the mill, the atmosphere changes. The sound of machinery, the scent of fresh wood, and the steady rhythm of production fill the air. Here, the log is slowly positioned onto the feeding line. Workers use iron pry bars and turning hooks to rotate the log into the correct orientation. Grain direction, curvature, and natural bends in the wood all influence how the log should be placed. A well-aligned log leads to cleaner cuts, stronger boards, and better utilization of the material. Once aligned, the log is secured onto the sawmill carriage. The bandsaw operator steps in, performing a final round of checks. The blade tension is adjusted, the guides are set, and the cutting plan is reviewed. Bandsaws are incredibly powerful machines, capable of slicing through thick hardwood with precision, but they require careful calibration to ensure accuracy and safety. As the bandsaw begins to run, the blade produces a sharp, steady hum. Slowly, the massive log moves forward along the track. When the blade meets the wood, the first long, controlled cut begins. A thin stream of sawdust curls through the air as slabs of wood peel away from the log's surface. With each pass, the inner beauty of the timber is revealed, the grain patterns, the color variations, and the natural character hidden beneath the bark. This stage represents the transformation from raw material to usable lumber. After the primary cuts, the slabs may be trimmed, squared, or sent to secondary machines, such as planers and resaws. Every piece of wood has a purpose, and the mill aims to use as much of the material as possible. Even the offcuts and sawdust are recycled into fuel, particle boards, or other byproducts. The entire process, from manual handling outside the mill to precision cutting inside, highlights the balance between human skill and mechanical power. It demonstrates the dedication, knowledge, and craftsmanship required in the lumber industry, an industry that transforms natural resources into essential materials for the world around us. Through this journey, we gain a deeper appreciation for the effort behind each board of wood. It is a reminder that behind every finished product lies a series of careful steps, thoughtful planning, and the steady hands of skilled workers who guide the wood from forest to final form. As we reach the end of this video, we've seen how every stage of the milling process, from the manual movement of massive logs outside the mill to the precise cutting inside the bandsaw room, requires skill, patience, and deep understanding of the material. Behind every finished piece of lumber lies teamwork, experience, and a commitment to safety and quality. We hope this video has helped you appreciate the craftsmanship and effort that go into transforming raw logs into usable wood. Thank you for watching and for taking the time to learn with us today. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more about sawmilling, woodworking, and the world behind timber production, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.